Who was without a doubt the goat of your school. I started student teaching in a 4th grade special ed class in September. My teacher told her students that if all 12 of them get 100% on their spelling tests, we can have a pizza party. So far, that has not happened yet. This past Monday, my teacher told them this is Ms. K's last week with us. Let's all work really hard to finally get that pizza party. The kids were really excited. During their free time, they would all study their words. I never saw them work so hard. What makes this situation difficult is the bullying between Gabby and Sam. Sam has severe dyslexia and struggles with spelling. Gabby constantly picks on Sam for it. My teacher and school take this seriously and intervenes. However, Gabby still picks on Sam. After my teacher said let's all work really hard to finally get that pizza party, Gabby shouted back, can you make sure that Sam studies since she's really bad at spelling? We addressed this with Gabby. Even though she is only 9, she pisses me off with her passive-aggressive comments. Sam practiced really hard for the spelling test. I even stayed after school Thursday to help Sam study. On Friday morning right before the test, she was crying because she didn't want to be the only student to fail and ruin the pizza party. I told her that she worked so hard this past week and she is smart. For the spelling test, our teacher will say the spelling word out loud and the students will write it. 11 of the students have the same words. Sam has a slightly different set of words which are a bit easier. My teacher whispers Sam's words to her. When the teacher does this, Gabby will sometimes snicker. I can't effing stand this. We addressed this before, but Gabby still doesn't change her behavior. I finally lost it. This past Friday, Gabby snickered again. I went up to Gabby and angrily whispered, I will take your test and fail you right now if you don't stop. And you will ruin the pizza party for everyone. Stop it. She started crying in her seat. I didn't care. Maybe it will finally get through to Gabby. Once the kids are done, I walk around and collect all the tests. The kids go to lunch, and my teacher gives me the test to grade. She leaves for lunch duty. I start grading each test and it's 100% after 100%. I am so proud of my students. I get to Gabby's test and it's 100%. I finish grading and every single test is 100%. I feel so proud and excited for them. But then I realize, I only collected 11 tests. Sam's test is on my teacher's desk. I go through her test and she is spelling all the words correctly. I never felt so proud. But then, it hits me. The very last word, which is always a challenge word, is spelled wrong. She wrote because as BQAs. I am still proud of her because she got 9/10 correct. She never scored that high before. And sight words are very challenging. But all the students will figure out that Sam ruined the pizza party for them. Even if we don't announce who failed, they will figure it out. I could talk to my teacher about letting them have the pizza party anyway, but my teacher is a stickler for the rules. Everyone needs to get a 100%. I can't let Sam feel like a failure or get bullied. So, I erase the U and the A and switch them. Sam probably won't notice. And I won't tell Sam or she will feel bad. She will eventually learn how to spell because I need her to have her moment. The kids came back from recess and were told the good news. They were so excited. Sam was so proud of herself. I come back on Monday for the pizza party. My friend called me broke after I asked her to pay me back. So my friend was in dire need of cash, and as the senseless moron that I am, I took out next month's rent and handed it over to her. I'm still in college and there's barely any time to work, plus money just doesn't last the way it used to in high school. Today I asked her if she would be able to pay me back soon, and for some reason, she found it offensive. She said she's going through a lot of crap and I'm not being supportive. I tried explaining the state of things to her and she began saying sexist stuff like what type of a man asks a woman for money? Like what the hell? She even told me to get my broke a job. You can imagine the irony. My wife burns through money and expects us to be able to travel. Rant. It never fails. Either we go out literally every weekend day or she says we never go out, and mopes. And when we do go out, it's never less than $250 each day. Today for example, we drove into the city to say hi to a friend, and I made the mistake of saying, hey, where should we go for lunch? Of course she picks an incredibly expensive restaurant. Of course she picks literally the most expensive items on the menu. Of course she orders 2 of their $20 signature cocktails and doesn't finish them. And of course we go to a second place for $60 dessert. It's so annoying, and of course to her I'm cheap. Obviously I'm the problem, because she doesn't have any brakes, only gas. It's like she hates money. And of course she doesn't have a job. And I hate that I see it as her burning my money. It shouldn't be my money and her money, but she's going through over $1,000 a month on luxuries and going out. And of course she wants to travel every year. Not like cheap European trips either. Next year we're going to Japan. We won't be able to afford it. This year we were able to go to Morocco with a tour, $7,000 each, with the help of weekly fights about money. There is no winning. I've tried talking to her about it. I tried showing her how much she spends by saying when we go out and do something you want, we can keep track by using your credit card, and that's all it will be used for, but she hasn't stuck to that. I don't need advice. I'm not asking for help. I just need to vent in a place where it won't cause a huge argument. But Christ on a bike, can she spend money? It doesn't even matter how much I make, she keeps pace with it, finding new BS to spend money on. Like oh my god. This woman will be the death of me. I left my wife because I'm sick of everything needing to match her aesthetic. I know it seems like a dumb thing to end my marriage over. But after dealing with this for so long, I'm finally done. My wife and I are both in our 30s. We have a daughter. My wife has always been pretty into appearances, but it was never that bad. She just wanted things to look nice when people came over. Then she started an Instagram page for moms and got a massive amount of followers, about 400,000 since our daughter was born. Ever since then I feel like I don't live in a house. I live in an Instagram photo shoot. There can't be any proof we actually live here. My wife stresses so much about things looking good that she doesn't actually enjoy the moment. She started a fight with me right after our daughter took her first steps because I had put my drink down on the table behind her and it's all she could see and how she'd need to edit it out of the video. She called me a selfish B-word for putting my drink down on a coffee table to watch my daughter take her first steps. Our daughter's bedroom is just a mass of beige and cream, there's barely any toys in it, which was fine while our daughter was small, but now she's getting older. My wife refuses to buy her any toys that don't match her aesthetic. My mother took my daughter to the store and let her pick out a toy. She picked out this doll house from a show she watches. She got all of the dolls and furniture, and my wife told her she had to keep it at my mother's house because there was no place for it at home. She absolutely had room for it. My wife is convinced I'm leaving for another woman, I'm having an affair, etc., but I'm not. I just can't keep feeling like I live in a museum where I can't touch or move anything. I can't even build a blanket fort with my kid without my wife flipping out that they're decorative blankets that she had folded a special way. I'm not going to force my daughter to live in an aesthetic. I've tried to encourage her to seek professional help. She insists this isn't a problem and she doesn't need any therapy. Just needed to get this out somehow. Thanks for reading. Am I the asshole for refusing to get on a flight? My boyfriend's parents paid for them, my boyfriend's siblings and their significant other to all go on a flight to Cabo for spring break. Becky, his mom, hasn't seemed to like me for some reason. She always makes snide remarks about my parents' blue-collar jobs and my field is nursing. We get to the airport and Becky got 7 other people first-class tickets, and me 1 coach ticket. She told me I was used to it and she had a free coach ticket, so I should be grateful for going. They all did their express check-ins and left me in the long line for me to think about what the heck is going on. I had to keep from crying the whole time in line. I got up to the counter and there was a baggage fee to me. My boyfriend at the time never once helped me through the coach line or said anything to his mom. I looked over at his mom's smug face as I was about to pay the checked baggage fee. And I let all of my frustrations out on the attendant and started crying. Basically she said, "Don't go with that family, sweetie, they don't appreciate you." Continues to cry and took my luggage and got out of line with the super sweet check-in woman. I was so upset on how I was treated and started crying on my boyfriend in the airport about how his mother was treating me. I broke up with him at the airport and his mother was so embarrassed. I told her what a B-word she was. My boyfriend has been blowing up my phone saying how could I do that to his mother and just back out of a vacation very last minute and wasted everyone's time and money. So am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for demanding my husband to pay me the $1,000 he spent behind my back? My husband 33 and I, 31, used to have a 2-income home, but in 2020 we've lost our home and one of our incomes, his. We moved into a smaller apartment, had to sell many things and give up most of our costly habits. My husband has an expensive habit of going to the spa for a weekly massage session. We live in an urban area, so this stuff is ridiculously expensive. A single session is $250, and he has to have it every week, so that it'd be nearly $1,000 a month. I offered him to have his session at a regular spa, but no, he has to get it from that luxurious spa near the restaurant we used to go, saying the lady who gives the massage is an expert and he's used to her. Problem is I'm the only income earner and I'm struggling to make ends meet. I'm also pregnant and need to save money to prepare a nursery. I told him to cut his sessions, but he refused. I told him I won't be paying for them anymore and he said he'd get the money himself. Yesterday I checked and saw that he's been using my credit card for his sessions for a whole month and had maxed out completely. I found that out when I went shopping for baby essentials and the cashier said I had no money. I had to return everything, then went home and went off on him. I told him he maxed my card out and made me look like an idiot at the store. He said he didn't tell me cause he knew I'd have an issue with it. I demanded he pay back the $1,000 he spent, but he refused. I yelled at him, calling him irresponsible, and he got upset and called me selfish and told me to stop playing victim and that this is affecting both of us since he's going to be a parent too and it's stressful for him and I keep dismissing his own needs as a human. I went upstairs and he went out. He started giving me the silent treatment, but I kept demanding the money back. He said I shouldn't expect it back since we're married, then my money is technically his and I should stop using his unemployment against him. It's gotten to the point where I don't know what to think. So am I the asshole?